First of all, it's important when we look at the current political happenings in our country is to praise the Gen Z and, of course, some of us that have been in this street for a long time. In fact, we are the happiest people at the moment that at the very first time, the Kenyan people are taking their future in their own hands. And kudos to Gen Z. And then the second thing I wanted to say is that people look at how President William Samoei Ruto, and now joined by Raila, has reacted to this national crisis. But I think these are very cunning politicians. They are very deceptive, and they disrespect Kenyan people. In fact, Raila is like a scavenger, a vulture, eating on top of the poor, dead bodies of the Kenyan people. And he's very shameless about it because he has done it so many times that now he's soulless. Yeah. So the old man is walking around stepping on dead people. And he sees it as, his only card to make it to the AU. After all, African Union is a captured institution by the imperialist interest. In fact, the United States, Japan, and other imperialist countries push more funding to the African Union, which is basically a club to defend corrupt presidents in Africa. This is what Raila Odinga is going to defend. A bigger corruption at continental level, while he has made sure that he sealed the coffins of dead, poor children of the working class and the poor people in this country. So he's a man that we should really be humiliated about, ashamed to the core. In fact, Raila Odinga continues to step on Jaramogi Oginga Odinga's legacy, while his father built a credible, slate. Raila has continued to cut deals by criminals in this country. 2007, what happened with Raila Odinga? The Sirikali and Sumkate, he has been the beneficiary of the blood that has been shed in the streets of Nairobi. Nobody should say that if you come out to fight for democracy, and the very democracy you step on, this is the guy that we must deal with first. In fact, we should hold him responsible for all his actions. But for William Samoei Ruto, he's taking us old to the old politics. This tribal tour that is going to take place in Luo Nyanza is nothing but to continue to alienate what they are calling the Luo people from the national project. In fact, Raila Odinga is going to do tribal mobilization in Luo land to tell them that for the first time the Luos are in the treasury. He's going to tell them that for the first time the Luos are in government, and thanks to the people who have died. So Raila Odinga and William Ruto is taking us several decades behind to actually open the wounds of tribal politics, because every time election has been held, people have died on useless tribal wars. Now they are mobilizing us over homecoming in Luo Nyanza to remind the Luo community that for the first time, William Samoei Ruto is putting in government. That's for me is just someone who has always been possessed by power. And now that he cannot get it and he cannot appoint one of his sons to take over, he does not believe that young people can get out of the country and say that for the first time, we are opposing this government based on certain issues. What were the Gen Z people demanding? That this broad-based coalition, in fact, it's not broad-based coalition government. This is a government of minority or billionaire class that have come together to defend their own interests as billionaires. They have no interest around the national project of the Kenyan people. Look at William Samoei Ruto. In the last so many demands that the Gen Z people made, he decided that he's going to appoint Joho, for example. Joho has been the governor for 10 years. Oparanya has been the governor for 10 years. These people are not clean people. They are just coming to his scheming to be re-elected in the next election instead of actually addressing the problems that is facing this country. If you look at that, I sympathize with him. This guy who is now at the CS for Treasury in Badi. The first time we have been rejecting IMF and World Bank, and then he gets into the office, and who does he meet the following day? The IMF criminals. So these guys are not serious. That is why we are saying season 2 is coming, which will sweep them off.
When is season 2 coming?
Season 2 is starting on Katiba Day. Yes, on 27th.
That will be 14 years exactly since the promulgation. Wanjohi, if you look at the front pages as well, because this is